Hello, everyone. Today is Mark, the 16th chapter, verse 1. And when the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, and Salome had bought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him. So they had a plan. They went shopping and they bought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him. And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came unto the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. So they got up early. And they came where Jesus, because they watched where they laid him. They were watching. And then they said, let's go to the store and get some sweet spices so we can anoint his body. So the two Marys came to where they had planned to come. And they said among themselves, well, hey, Mary, now, who's going to roll the stone away for us? That thing is very heavy. Who shall roll us away the stone from the door of the sepulchre? But at least they went. They didn't have to worry about when you're getting ready to do something right. Just go. Just get up, start doing it. Anything need to be put out of the way because your intent is right. Let's see what happens. And when they looked, they saw that the stone was rolled away, for it was very heavy. I guess they were so excited to get ready to anoint Jesus' body. Not so much excited, but they knew that this was a part of their culture, and they wanted to be a part of this. And got there, thought about, who's going to roll the stone away, and got there, and it was already positioned, and it was a heavy stone. And they entered into the sepulchre. They walked into it, the tomb. They saw a young man, sitting on the right side, clothed in a long white garment, and they were scared, affrighted. They walked in there and they looked around and saw that young man. And he said unto them, don't be scared. Don't be affrighted. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, which was, underline the word, crucified. Underline the word was. He was crucified. He is risen. He is not here. Behold the place where they laid him. Look over there. Look over there. He's not here, said the young man. I do believe that angels look like regular people. In fact, I know it. He was a young man. They didn't say he was an angel. At least Mark didn't. But go your way, tell his disciples and Peter that he goes before you into Galilee, just like he said. There shall you see him as he said unto you. He said, I'm going to rise and I'll meet you in Galilee in 3 days. He said that. Now here is this young man saying the same thing that he says. Go tell the disciples and Peter. Now I've heard different people say that Peter didn't feel like a disciple at this point because he had denied Jesus and he wept so bitterly until he just need some time alone. He was not hanging out with the guys as usual. Perhaps that's true. But Jesus said, anyway, go tell his disciples and Peter. And they went out quickly and fled from the sepulchre. For they trembled and were amazed. They were mixed. It was like, I'm scared and I'm amazed. For they trembled and were amazed. Neither said they anything to any man. They saw folk down the street. They didn't say, how you doing, Mary? Hey. For they were afraid. I don't want to tell nobody this. I'm going to do what he said do. And now when Jesus was risen early the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene out of whom he had cast 7 devils. Verse 9. And this Mary went and told them that had been with him as they mourned and wept. They was over there still feeling all sick, mourning, crying. Mary walked up to him. And they, when they had heard that he was alive and had been seen of her, we don't believe that. You don't believe, and you hung out with Jesus all that time. Didn't he tell you this? We don't believe it. We believe it not. After that, he appeared in another form unto 2 of them, 2 of the disciples, as they walked and went into the country. And they went and told it unto the residue, the rest of those. Neither believed they them. So Mary, one of the Marys came and told him, the one he had cast 7 devils out of. You should have believed him now, because she's telling the truth. And then 2 disciples who spoke to him went back to tell the other 9. And they said, we don't believe that. Afterward, he appeared unto the 11, as all of them was in the same place. He appeared unto the 11, Jesus did, as they sat at lunch or dinner. Excuse me. And upbraided them. In other words, he was very angry. And upbraided them with their unbelief. Can't believe, y'all. I mean, he didn't say I can't believe, because he don't use words carelessly. But he upbraided them, rebuked them with their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they believed not them which had seen him after he was risen. Jesus said, I told you all that I was going to do this. It's like you're a teacher and you give an assignment, and now that it's time to be turned in, they get the grade. Then they sad because of the grade that's given, only to say, didn't I tell you that this is what you would get if you didn't do, or if you did, whatever your response is, this is your this is the outcome. This is your result. I told you that they were going to kill me. I told you that they were going to do everything they did. I told you even that you were going to run and leave me hanging by myself. Leave me hanging by myself. Well, I'm talking about them not being a part of what he did. You ran. I told you the truth. I've never told you anything but truth. And here it is, 2 people come, 2 witnesses. He said, yeah, that's why you getting this side of me. I'm not coming into my, hey, y'all, I'm not doing it. I'm coming in. I don't like it. The fact that your heart is so hard. So hard until you can't believe when nobody tell you after 2 witnesses tell you that. And he said unto them, go ye into all the world. Go to everybody, every human being you can find, and preach the gospel to every creature. Now, what is the gospel? The gospel is the same words that Jesus spoke. Whatever he permitted you to say, you now have his permission. You can go in his name. You can use his authority and go into the world and say the same thing that I'm telling you. You go tell them. Don't change anything. Don't add anything to it. Just go into the world. Whether they be poor, tell them about me. Rich, tell them about me. Black, white, Hispanic, every creature, tell them about me. And he said, this is what's going to happen. He that believes and is baptized means they recognize that they're going to announce me in front of others. Baptized shall be saved. He that believes and is baptized shall be saved, but he that does not believe shall be damned. And these signs shall follow them that believe. Now, when I got to this part, I got kind of, in fact, I got to this part right here, and it was hard to read it because I was wondering if any of those signs followed me. But let's see what the word says. And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. The only way devils are coming out is because you're using my name. You don't use my name. You don't use my authority. You don't know my word. Things remain the same. If we're not getting results according to his word, that means something is wrong with what we're saying about him. Because he said, in my name shall they cast out devils. Let me just say that part right there. You're going to cast out devils. All right. When Jesus spoke the word, he only did and said what the Father said. Now it has been given to us to say what he said. When I say what Jesus said and Jesus said what his Father said, we're all working as one. With that being said, when you start telling the truth, the enemy, the devil, is going to surface. When he surfaces, he is distinguished from the truth. You know, cast that out. In other words, don't receive anything that anybody says that don't line up with the word. Cast out means I don't have to hear you. I don't have to recognize your words to be true because of your title. If your title keeps you from speaking the word of God, I don't receive a word that you're saying. He told me those devils will be cast out. I had the power to cast them out. In other words, don't give them any kind of reverence. They must speak the word. And the only way you can cast that devil out, you got to know what the word said. All right? That's the first thing he said, if you believe. He said, they shall speak with new tongues. This is where the division and a lot of people start saying, well, you know, Jesus said they shall speak with new tongues. They shall speak with new tongues. And so when I ran reference on this, I saw that they, on the day of Pentecost, that they spoke in tongues. I just know that the new tongue and the new language that you will be speaking, it does not belong to man. I will speak in tongues, and I would open my mouth and just talk like that's my language between me and God. I'll do it because the Pharisees said we don't do that. That's why I'll do it. I'll do it because no human being can tell me what to say when it's time for me to talk with my Father. It's not up for debate. I didn't say this. Jesus said it. Let's read that again. This is Mark 16, verse 17. And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they distinguish people that don't know me. Cast them devils out. They shall speak with new tongue. You don't have to be held by anybody. You don't have to, when you get to a point that you could care less what any human being says, you'll do whatever this word says, even if you say I sound like a fool. It doesn't matter. He said it. And somebody said, well, I just think that you're going to talk in a new way. I will speak with new tongues. That's a new tongue to me. Everything that, and a good thing about it is, the tongue that I speak in, it's not going to sound like your tongue. Everybody got their own personalized language between you and God. Excuse me, y'all. I got my language. You got your language. It's almost like a fingerprint. I invite you to just allow God to use you, and you submit yourself and say, I don't know how to do it. I didn't either. I'm human just like you. But guess what? I do it now. And I'm telling you, that just that part right there makes you bold, because you don't care what nobody says. This is me. This is my language. Nobody understands this but me and God. And unless he give an interpretation through somebody else, then I don't know what I just said. All I know that one thing I know, that it was good. That one thing I know. Verse 18, they shall take up serpents. Oh, did you see Jesus walking around picking up snakes? I did. Because a snake is anything that's crawling around being sneaky and not representing what he really is. Like I'm all quiet and stuff, but as soon as they get a chance to bite you and stick your blood with the venom, and next thing you know, you've been captivated by a real snake, an enemy. That's not saying that you walk around picking up snake. Let's just say that you are working in the garden, a snake bites you. That was not your intent. You got bit by a snake. He said that snake is, they shall take up serpents. You're going to take them up. You're going to call them. They're going to show up because the word is going to identify that's a serpent. I don't care what it looks like. That's a serpent. He came to devour, to try to chew you up. He said, you're going to take them up. Because when you speak that word, them enemies are going to show themselves. They're going to start making some sound. Psst. And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. Don't worry about nobody plotting against you because of this word. He's just letting you know these are not literal things that he's saying. If you drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt you. He's saying that nobody can plot against you. If somebody gave you something or trying to do something behind your back, excuse me, y'all. If somebody trying to do anything to try to hurt you, it won't hurt. Because if you are working for the king, he has you protected. You have angels unseen and some seen. It shall not hurt you. You'll wonder why somebody trying to give you some. Let me tell y'all something. Let me give y'all an illustration of this. I've always been in the pursuit to know God. I always have. And I remember this young lady went to the same church, and she had been fooling around with at that time I was married, playing around, flirting around. And every time I went to church, she would bring me different little delicacies, like different desserts. And I truly meant to, I was thankful when she did, but I always forgot them and left them in the refrigerator at church. And this girl did everything she could, start calling my phone. I didn't know what was going on behind my back. But I did know that every time I came to church, every Sunday, she'll have me some type of food prepared. But she was, fooling around with at that time I was married, fooling around with the man I was married to. And so she brought me a piece of cake, I think, this last time. And I thought about it at the end of service, and I went into the kitchen to get it because when she gave it to me, I put it in the refrigerator. So the next day, I went out to one of my friend's house, and I remembered that she had given me some dessert, and it was my intent to eat it. So when I got out to my friend's house, back in the day, I let the window down a little bit because it was hot. And we were getting ready to go shopping, so I said, let me go in and knock on the door and let her know I'm here. So the cake is in the car. Mind you, this girl who's, being deceiving behind my back. And when I came out of the house to go back into my car, not knowing anything that was going on behind my back, when I got back to the car, I noticed that the cake had been devoured by cats. They some kind of way got in through the part of the window that was left open, and they had the crumbs of the cake everywhere. Later on, I found out as it was discovered that and at that time there was some adultery being committed. But whatever it was in that cake, I didn't get it. It wasn't intent for me. God was keeping me because he knew the plan that he had for me, and he knew my heart. Even though I was not in the word to know it as clearly as I know it now, but I was walking with everything I knew how to walk with. But he just let me know, I ain't gonna let nobody your enemy will not be feeding you any food. I let the cats get it before I let you eat that. So just know that when your heart is right, God, you have God's protection. That's just one story. I have many. They shall lay hand on the sick and they shall recover. Now, these are the signs that's going to follow them that believe. Jesus said, if you take my word, don't add anything to it, just put a voice to what I said, that these are the things that you got a right to expect. That means that you can lay hands on the sick. That has nothing to do with your hands. It has something to do altogether to do with you using his word. You know, when I first read this, it was kind of like, I don't know if anybody ever recovered because I laid hands on them. And then again, I had to think, have I ever laid hands on anybody? But I do know this. Just as sure as he told them folk to go over there and get that ass and bring him over here and bring him, you're gonna find that coat and that ass tied, loose them and bring them unto me. And when they got there, they found it just like he said. If he said he was gonna get up in 3 days, he said, I'll meet you in Galilee. He did just what he said. So he said, if you take my word and do what I said do, you shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. You said, well, I've never seen that done. That's because somebody's not taking his word. His word don't lie. So after the Lord had spoken unto them, he was received up into heaven. He said, I'm out of here. I'm gone. This is what Mark said. Now remember, Mark is a very young man. I think they said he was 12 years old to have written this. He was very, very young. So some of the disciples, they wrote more with more detail. Hold on one more second. Read that again. So then after the Lord had spoken unto them, he was received up into heaven and sat on the right hand of God. And the disciples, all 11 of them, they went forth. They got busy. Because when Jesus came back and met them in Galilee and saw that they didn't believe who he said, he said, I'm not getting ready to play with you. I'm getting ready to break it down to you. You have been with me too long. And I've done everything I said to you. He just had to put them, just kind of pull them back into place. And this is what happened when Jesus left. And they went forth, they obeyed, and preached everywhere. It was nowhere in the world these guys could ever deny what they had come in contact with Jesus. The Lord working with them. God did not send them by themselves. He said, I'm going to work with you. If I got to chastise you while working with you and to bring out the fruit that I said you were supposed to get, then I'll work with you on that. And he confirmed the word with signs following. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Mark. The entire book ending with Mark 16. Let's get ready for the next book. Talk later. Bye. Okay, what did you say? What did you say Grandma said?
You said a bad word.
I said a bad word?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me the word I said. What'd you say?
You was trying to tie.
Tell me when I said you should find that ass tied. Parker said I said a bad word. I'm going to let her know that I'm going to show her a picture of a donkey and Jesus called it an ass. But at least she was listening. Just wanted y'all to see that this is what my granddaughter told me. As soon as I stopped the video, she said, Grandmama, you said a bad word. Okay, well, I'm going to teach you that Jesus has the right to call the animal an ass. But I only use it when Jesus said it. Okay? Talk later. Bye, y'all. Talk to y'all later. See you later. Bye.